Hello everyone, myself Ketan Bhavsar, Assistant Professor in LG Engineering College, Ahmedabad. In today's session, we discuss about device drivers and interrupt service mechanism from chapter number 3 in embedded system. So now, in today's topic, we discuss about interrupt latency and programmable I/O approach for I/O ports. So basically, we already familiar with this word, like what is interrupt latency. We also familiar with this word latency. What is latency? And programmable I/O approach for I/O ports. So basically, in previous session we already discussed about the programmable I/O approach with the I/O ports. Because whenever you want to communicate with any devices with a processor or with a controller, so ultimately we have to deal with the I/O approaches, right? Input-output approaches. We have to deal with the I/O ports. It can be analog, it can be digital. You have to make sure that your I/O port configurable with the I/O port very synchronization manner, like it's very smooth, we can say, in terms of synchronization manner. And for that we have to follow the different types of strategies, right? So basically in this session we discuss about interrupt latency. Now what is interrupt latency and how it will work? So let's see what is interrupt latency. A period between the occurrence of an interrupt and start of execution of the ISR. The time take in context switching is also included in a period, so it's called as an interrupt latency period, TINT, or we can say that the TLNT. Latency means what? It is talking about execution of the task. It is talking about the execution of the task in particular time manner, so it's called as a latency. So here we discuss about the time, a period between the occurrence of the interrupt and start of execution of interrupt service routine. The time take in the context switching is also included in a period. It's called as interrupt latency period, TLNT. So basically here we discuss about the interrupt latency. In terms of the latency, we have to focus on the execution of the task with respect to time only. Minimum interrupt latency period. Now, what exactly the meaning of minimum latency interrupt period? So TLNT is the sum of the period as follows. Time to be taken is for the response and initiating the ISR instruction. This includes the time to save or switch the context in terms of including the program counters and register, plus the time to restore the context. Basically, if you're talking about the latency, the latency means what? The execution of the task. And for the execution of the task, we have to follow the ISR instruction. We have to follow the context switching of each and every type of data that we have. You also have to follow the different types of incoming signal, or we can say that the instruction from A to E that we already discussed in previous session. Means we have to start from A, B, C, D. Means we have to wait for the input. If it is came, then we have to read it. After read it, we have to decrypt it. After decrypt it, we have to encode the data, and after encode the data, again we have to send the signal for the task A, or we can say the call function 1. So minimum latency period means what? Ultimately, we are talking about the period of the ISR execution, or we can say that the counter register time, or we can say that the storage time also included. Minimum latency is equal to context switching period. When the interrupt service start immediate on the context switching, the interrupt latency is equal to T switch is equal to context switching period. So when instruction in a processor takes a variable clock cycle, the maximum clock cycle for the instruction are taken into the account for calculating the latency. So basically we have to make sure that the context switching period is clearly known. What exactly is the meaning of context switch? So as you can see, include the program counter and register. Means we have to take about each and every instruction from the program counter, and also you have to make sure about the register value that it is used to store your data. So in terms of minimum latency is equal to context switching period means what? When the interrupt service start immediate on the context switching. Fine. In terms of context switching means what? We're talking about the registers and program counter. And the interrupt latency is equal to T switching time is equal to context switching. So ultimately we have to synchronize the time. Fine. So when the instruction in the processor take variable clock cycle, the maximum clock cycles for an instruction are taken into the account for calculating the latency. Now, latency, we discuss about the latency. We are familiar with the word of latency because ultimately we are talking about the time, each and every time. Now, how it will work? So let's see with a specific one example, or we can say that with the ISR. So latency in the case of interrupt service start immediately or immediately. We can say that it will start immediately. Start after the time TO plus TTAC only where the TTAC is context switching time. So ultimately we have to take out the context switching time. Interrupt latency is equal to TTAC only where TTAC is context switching time for saving the running program context and loading the new routine context. So basically here we are talking about the ISR and program process IO interface with T0. It will execute in terms of the synchronization manner only and only when your T0 plus TTAC time is equal to your context switching time. So if it will equal to your context switching time, then we can say that the new routing or new routing context it will be established. ISR. What is ISR or task deadline? For every source, there may be a maximum period only up to the which the service of its all ISR instructions can be kept pending. We can say that all the data will be kept or pending. So this period defines a deadline period, TD, during which the execution must be completed. So make sure that the dead time means what? If you apply the number of tasks, if you apply the number of inputs on one particular processor, because processor can work at a time only one input, right? So maximum period means what? Define the deadline period, the TD, during which the execution must be completed. Means what? The execution of the task must be completed. If in task A, suppose we are talking about the 5 steps like A, B, C, D, E. Ultimately, if your input data will take a time for arrival from some specific processor or some specific from the instruction side, then you have to wait for data. After that, like each and every step, you have to execute the task. The main objective is very clear that you have to execute the task. If your task will be executed on one specific time amount, then we can say that that particular time is called as a task deadline. So you have to follow the task deadline, means you have to execute your program anyhow. Either then it will take a delay or not, but you have to execute it. Interrupt latency period and deadline for an interrupt. So as you can see, the context switching, execution of a routine, a new event ISR. So interrupt latency should be such that a deadline of a new event ISR is not missed. Must finish in time TD. Means what? Anything it will be executed, make sure that based on the priority you have to execute your task anyhow. Because in terms of the synchronization manner, the new data, the new task will become simultaneously. So ultimately, you have to execute your task anyhow. Short ISR and the function which run it later instance so that the other ISR deadline are instant, so that the other ISR is not missed. So make sure that here you can see the router 1, function, next router and new event ISR. So make sure that in term time T, as you can see the time T, the context switching time, the function execution time, the context switching times means you have to execute the program and also you have to store your program. After the execution and the stop, in terms of the time, the new event ISR will be occurred. So make sure that in period of T, you have to follow these steps. You have to router 1 functions, next router, and then and only then we can say that the new event ISR will be occur or it will be kept. So make sure that whenever you come in the ISR deadline function, you have to make sure that you have to follow this strategy. You have to execute your task in task T, or we can say that the period T. So assigning of priority to meet service deadline. So basically, as you already know, the processor work at a time only on one data, right? So by following an EDF, means the earlier deadline first, strategy for assigning the priority to the ISR and the task, the service deadline are met. Means what? The assigning a task, if you are assigning the number of tasks, but make sure that you have to fulfill a requirement, you have to fulfill your time, you have to fulfill your requirement of the task. So the strategy for the assigning the period to the ISR and task, the service deadlines are made. It is the first decided among the ISR that have been assigned the higher priority by the use of a software or the user software. Basically, here we discuss about the programming side. So whatever you write inside the program, inside the software, according to that the processor will decide the priority, and based on the decided the priority of the software, it will the start execution over it. So basically here we discuss about a deadline. Here we discuss about a priority. So priorities means what? Based on the priority you have to set your task. Suppose I give you an example that there is one home automation system. If someone came inside the room, then automatically light will be turned on. For that, you have to make sure that your processor is continuously observing the user came inside a lab or inside the room or not. If it will come, then ultimately light will be turned on. And for that, the processor have a highest priority that you have to sense the user inside the room if it is available or not. And it will be decided by the program inside the software, right? So if the user assigning the priorities are, and then if this equal, then among that the highest priority which is pre-assigned by a processor internal hardware. I give you one simple example like traffic light controller. In normal traffic light controller, it will work on clock based concept, right? But if you have to design some system, if like ambulance will begin, then ultimately all the 3 rows will be closed and that particular side, or you can say that that particular side will be turned on. And for that, you can say that the ambulance have a highest priority because here you have to save someone's life. And this one is the best example of a priority based concept. Ultimately, it will observing each and every time the ambulance or some uneven condition will be came on this particular direction or not. If it will be came, then it will close all other side and open that particular side. So this one is the best example, we can say that a priority based concept. So I hope that you are getting the idea what exactly I am trying to convey about the latency, what exactly the ISR in terms of the interrupt service routine, and how it will work. And also we said about the priorities. See, in terms of the microcontroller, we have an arbitration one device, and that we use to set the priority of the system. And the arbitration is one of the device because the microcontroller or microprocessor have the ability to execute only one instruction at a time. And so we cannot execute large number of instructions, right? So here the main objective is very clear that you have to understand the first of all latency, after that the ISR mode, and after that you have to go with a interrupt mechanism, or we can say that after that we have to go with a priority based concept. So still if you have any doubt which is related to a priority, latency, or we can say that the ISR mode, so you can feel free to contact me. So thank you.